Chapter 68, Strike 4. The code is Roxana Blue. Roxanna, and then blue, as in the color, both words starting with a capital. Michael felt his heart shrivel up and wither away into nothing hearing her say that. And it came in so on cue, too, her saying it just the right time, practically psychic-like, with intentions always meant to mess with Michael's emotions just for spite. Michael now felt like he just couldn't take it anymore, building up so much hope and setting up such expectations, and watching this lady then step up with sharpened claws and watch her tear it all asunder, having placed so much pain and strain into him to do the right thing, making him go up and down for her, just to then see her then turn on him and do the ultimate wrong, and have all his efforts turn out to have been done in vain. Michael was now feeling utterly defeated and left to waste. She had broken the one rule Michael imagined was going to be the limit of how much he was willing to accept. And there's no going back now, no more, thought Michael, now that the lady had doomed them both, and also everyone else in the city, and now the thought of ending all this seemed to be the only best option. So with that, Madboy revved up the engines and started to shake with anticipation. Strike 4. Shit. I don't want this, thought Madboy bitterly. And then all of a sudden, worlds started shifting again. And this time it was all very dark. Too dark and unholy-like, seeming as if there was something there. Something otherworldly-like, some entity that's noticed what I'm about to do, and I've gotten its attention. Thought Michael as the scene he was in, him, her behind him, both on the chopper out here in the chill night's air, on these rooftops, with them, it all now felt different as a miasma grew forth of ill feelings and ill wills, casting calls into another world where something else lay. And then all of a sudden, something else was hallucinated by Michael. Wait, there it is. I see it. But is what I'm seeing really there or not there? Something was being seen now. Something really scary, but also something symbolic. A shadowy figure came forth from the recesses, just a bit off to the side of Angel. Oh no, is it? When what I think it is, thought Michael, since he was certain. But it felt symbolic, really did feel that, considering what Michael was planning to do at this hour. Michael, what's going on with you? Questioned Nikki. Questioned since she was sitting right behind him, holding on, and she was feeling how the boy was starting to shiver all over by some sort of dread that was growing within him. Angel Eyes had quickly gone to work talking on the walkie-talkie, informing the parties on the other end what he had just heard. Most of the Iron Monkeys seemed to be rejoicing right now, as they had noticed Michael revving up the engines just a second ago. Angel, we still have the deal, right? Asked Nikki distressingly. But Angel then lifted up his finger at her again while talking on the walkie-talkie, demanding her patience, but this time he wasn't being whimsical as he was earlier. And it was then for Nikki when she realized what she had done. Michael, I've made a terrible mistake, whispered Nikki sullenly. But Michael wasn't paying any attention to her, for that figure coming forward before Angel Eyes was getting closer and closer. Michael's curiosity grew, wondering exactly what this figure's face would look like. Oh God, why are you allowing me to see this now? But Michael already knew exactly why. Fine. I know what I'm about to do is, but what else can I do? Michael, how stupid could I be? There was never a deal. I've killed us both, whispered Nikki in despair as she began to break up. Michael had heard Nikki this time, and he felt her crying, but the figure before him was leaving such a stark and surreal sensation that he couldn't concentrate on anything but. So, you and I finally meet. About time. About damn time. Michael, I think I know what you're trying to do. Please don't do it just yet, whispered Nicky to Michael's ear. "Show me your face. Show it to me now." And then the shadowy figure revealed itself to Michael, and Michael saw its face. And it was the face of the Grim Reaper himself. And his was a face that brought upon a new revelation into horror Michael could have never imagined could exist. And the worst part was, what he saw, Michael sorta liked it. Something about his visage struck Michael with a visceral sense of freedom, through abandonment of all care and hope. And as Michael saw into this, he then saw the face of the Reaper nodding approval. So, just like that, huh? After everything, just like that? Well, good news and bad news, Miss Jackson. Good news is the codes worked. And then Angel had seemed to have forgotten mentioning that there was also a bad news to be told. But both Michael and Nicky already knew exactly what that was. Angel was smiling through his teeth again that looked like two rows of saws meshed together, ready to be put to work. And as Michael thought of letting go now, he didn't, as he felt Nicky grab a hold of his shoulder again, as if to hold him from doing what needed to be done. No, Nicky, no more time. Our fate has been... And then something else happened. As a new opportunity presented itself. Wait, what is that? At this point, everyone on the roof could now hear the calls, the wails, the fights, and the screaming of the Age of Rage finally reaching Manhattan. Up until now, except for all the commotion that the Iron Monkeys had stirred up, Harlem had not completely fallen into anarchy, since most of the residences living here had been trying to avoid it. But the bat and the chain, the knife-wielding masses that was the bulk of the Age of Rage had finally come. And they were here to engulf the rest of the city entirely, since now, having made their way here to the city's core, there was so much roar and rampage bellowing out from their echoing center that almost made the entire city quake from its presence. Their voices could crumble marble, breaking stone, and their destruction was never going to be enough until they had devastated the city into nothing, leaving behind nothing to remind them of the failure how a once proud metropolis here stood that was to define the pinnacle of human civilization. Now, no more. Michael, do it, Nicky then whispered as she let her hand go. This was really the best chances for Michael to do it too. The Iron Monkeys were all pretty distracted by this point, as a bunch of them stepped to the edge to watch the Age of Rage do its thing. Angel Eyes was just standing there gawking, as the ultra-violence around him had mesmerized him to where he was also seeing worlds shift and go into places a sick fuck like him would feel revelation and resolve in. A place far from this place where Michael and Nicky has something special in store for him now. Do it, cried out Nicky one last time. Rompus pompous, thought Michael, and now was off. His engine then roared like a battle cry of some psyched and savage steel-plated barbarian, like a hell on two wheels as it was born again into action. Michael then revved up the engine's full throttle as he rode in full breach. And as he connected with Angel there, the Grim Reaper cackled in delicious delight as the fucker was almost shredded into two from the impact. Now they were airborne, and within a moment later, now they were not. Crash! There was glass and spit and blood being shot out everywhere, in every which way directions. Michael, Nicky, and a toothpick chomping man had gone headlong into a window on the building across and made a spectacular landing. Their death-defying stunt must have pleased the Reaper of their good show, for almost all of them had survived except for one. As they crash-landed, Angel Eyes was at the front of the chopper's front wheel, hanging on partially underneath. And as they landed, the crash and the forward propelled motion of the chopper, while now racing through a hallway, had pulled Angel underneath and was now practically pulling him apart, piece by piece, being ripped apart by the weight of the drag of the front wheel. As Michael attempted to halt the vehicle, he then noticed two monkey fuckers in the way. They were standing by an apartment door trying to break in, and wouldn't you know it, They were the same two monkey fuckers Michael had come across back outside LaToya's place that he had tried to run over, but had missed. Michael now craned into those two jerk-offs, had them sent flying in which way direction their physics would deem fit. And just before reaching the other end of the hallway leading up to another window, Michael finally managed to halt the chopper he and Nikki were still on, dead short of finding himself sailing back into the night again. Oh, thank God, I survived it. Both Michael and Nikki were shivering from the harrowing feat. They both then keeled off the bike and slumped down to the floor. As they did that, the bike then keeled over itself in the opposite direction. After a minute of trying to regain their senses, Michael took one gaping look back at the direction from which they had came. He saw the window that had been shattered from their entrance and saw the building across stairs which they were on no longer than a minute ago. He saw what was left of the monkey fuckers, one half stuck in a wall and the other nowhere to be found. And finally saw what was left of Angel Eyes. For there was nothing pleasing to the eye left of him. For the wheels had done a good job decorating the rest of the hallway in a nice coat of glass in his gore. I feel like throwing up, murmured Nikki and looked at the last of Angel Eyes. Yeah, responded Michael and now shunned his eyes from it. Michael then looked center at Angel's bike and saw that the framework was almost completely totaled. There were also chunks and bits of Angel still stuck in the gears and crevices. Michael averted his eyes from looking at the gruesome scene any longer than needed. As Michael then tried to get up, he made the attempt by lifting himself up with the hand attached to the arm attached to his dislocated shoulder. And since the adrenaline rush had died down, he was once again feeling sharp pain shooting into his senses. Oh! What? Cried Nikki in worriment. Nikki! I dislocated my shoulder back there. I need you to help me to put it into place. Hold my arm like this, and when I tell you, jerk it like this. Nikki didn't say a thing and complied. And as Michael's shoulder got jerked into place, the pain then came now, really overloading his senses as it revved up with the energy of a 375 horsepower engine. Had Michael nearly passed the fuck out from the experience. And after a short moment later, felt conscious again.